Pharaoh and those people close to him were so devoted to their polytheistic system and pagan beliefs that not even the message of Prophet Moses, armed with wisdom and spectacular miracles, could turn them away from baseless superstitions. They also openly stated this fact. Because of their haughty attitude, God sent to them afflictions in order to punish them in this world too. We are told of these in the Quran. So we sent down on them floods, locusts, lice, frogs, and blood, signs, clear and distinct, but they proved arrogant and were an evil-doing people. This Quranic account of this period of human history has been confirmed by the discovery in the early 19th century of the Ipuwer papyruses dating back to the Middle Kingdom. The details in the papyrus regarding the catastrophes that struck the people of Egypt are just like those described in the Quran. Plague is throughout the land, blood is everywhere. The river is blood. Forsooth, that has perished which yesterday was seen. The land is left over to its weariness like the cutting of flax. Lower Egypt weeps. The entire palace is without its revenues. To it belong by right wheat and barley, geese and fish. Forsooth, grain has perished on every side. The towns are destroyed. Upper Egypt has become dry. The residence is overturned in a minute. At the beginning of the 1990s, a most important archaeological discovery was made. That discovery was of an ancient Arab city. What rendered this archaeological find particularly interesting was the fact that this city was where the Ad, mentioned in the Quran, lived. It was Nicholas Clapp, a noted documentary filmmaker and a lecturer on archaeology, who found this city mentioned in the Quran. Being an Arabophile and a winning documentary filmmaker, Clapp had come across a very interesting book during his research on Arabian history. The book referred to Ubar, a very ancient city, and to tracks belonging to it. In order to aid his work to find these tracks, Clapp requested assistance from NASA to provide the satellite images of the area. From this, he went on to study the ancient manuscripts and maps in the Huntington Library in California. Here he quickly found a map drawn by the Greek-Egyptian geographer Ptolemy in 200, which showed the location of an old city found in the region and the paths which actually led up to this city. Moreover, the trails in the map corresponded with the trails in the satellite pictures taken by NASA. The final destination of these trails was a broad site understood to have once been a city. Finally, the location of this legendary city was discovered. After a short while, excavations began, and remains of an old city were brought to light. It was these remains that constituted the real proof that this ancient city was the city of the people of Ad, referred to in the Quran. Because among the structures unearthed during the excavations were pillars. This is just as is revealed in the verses. Don't you see what your Lord did with Ad Iram of the columns, whose like was not created in any land? Prophet Lot lived at the same time as Prophet Abraham, peace be upon them both. He was sent as a messenger to a neighboring tribe to Prophet Abraham. That tribe, as revealed in the Quran, practiced a perversion never before seen in the world: homosexuality. When Prophet Lot told the people to abandon this great sin, they rejected him. They denied that he was a prophet and continued with their horrid lifestyle. As a result of this, the tribe was destroyed in a terrible disaster. And Lot, when he said to his people, "Do you commit an obscenity not perpetrated before you by anyone in all the worlds? You come with lust to men instead of women. You are indeed a depraved people. We rained down a rain upon them. See the final fate of the evildoers." The city mentioned in the Quran, in which the people of Lot lived, and which was eventually destroyed, was recently unearthed during archaeological excavations. This was the ancient city of Sodom, as it is called in the Old Testament. Archaeological excavations have revealed that the city lay close to the Dead Sea on the present-day Israeli-Jordanian border. The area is covered in large deposits of sulfur. This is a most important piece of evidence because sulfur is an element which appears as a result of volcanic eruptions. Indeed, there is indication in the Quran that the method of destruction was earthquake and volcanic eruptions. The German archaeologist Werner Keller says this about the region. Together with the base of this mighty fissure, which runs precisely through this area, the Vale of Siddim, including Sodom and Gomorrah, plunged one day into the abyss. Their destruction came about through a great earthquake which was probably accompanied by explosions, lightning, issue of natural gas, and general conflagration. In the upper valley of the Jordan, near Bashan, there are still the towering craters of extinct volcanoes. Great stretches of lava and deep layers of basalt have been deposited on the limestone surface. These layers of lava and basalt are the most important evidence showing that a volcanic eruption and an earthquake once took place there. In any event, Lake Lot, otherwise known as the Dead Sea, lies directly above a seismically active region, in other words, an earthquake belt. The community of Saba was one of the 4 biggest civilizations which lived in South Arabia. With the help of quite advanced technology for that particular era, the people of Saba constructed the Mahrib Dam and possessed an enormous irrigation capacity. This endowed them with much wealth and goods. However, instead of giving thanks to God for all this, they actually turned away from Him. Furthermore, they refused to heed the warnings and reminders issued to them. Because of these poor moral values, they merited punishment in the sight of God. In 542, their dams collapsed, and the flood of Arim ruined all their lands. The vineyards, orchards, and fields cultivated for hundreds of years by the people of Saba were completely destroyed. This flood is described in the Quran. There was also a sign for Saba in their dwelling place: 2 gardens, one to the right and one to the left. Eat of your Lord's provision and give thanks to Him, a bountiful land and a forgiving Lord. But they turned away, so we unleashed against them the flood from the great dam, and exchanged their 2 gardens for 2 others containing bitter-tasting plants and tamarisk, and a few lote trees. That is how we repaid them for their ingratitude. Are any but the ungrateful repaid like this? This fact revealed in the Quran is in complete agreement with archaeological findings. The Christian archaeologist Werner Keller, writer of The Bible as History, accepts that the flood of Arim occurred according to the description of the Quran, and writes that the existence of such a dam and the destruction of the whole city by its burst proves that the example given in the Quran about the people of the garden was indeed realized. The Quran is the word of Almighty God, the originator of everything, and the one who encompasses everything with His knowledge. One of the countless proofs of this is the way that its verses contain facts about scientific matters, as well as the past and the future, that nobody could have known. And what is more, all of this was revealed 14 centuries ago. Every piece of information the Quran contains reveals the secret miracles of this divine book. In one verse, God says, "If it had been from other than God, they would have found many inconsistencies in it." People are meant to hold fast to this divine book revealed by God and to receive it as their guide in life. In the Quran, God tells us the following: "This Quran could never have been devised by any besides God. Rather, it is confirmation of what came before it, and an elucidation of the book which contains no doubt from the Lord of all the worlds. Do they say, He has invented it? Say, then produce a surah like it, and call on anyone you can besides God if you are telling the truth. And this is a book we have sent down and blessed, so follow it and have fear of God, so that hopefully you will gain mercy."